gotten knocked out, which causes Triple H to argue with him. The distraction allowed Jericho to take advantage and pin Triple H to win the title, though Hebner visibly called a fast pinfall. And the faction then brought Hunter and the original referee Mike Chioda to the ring, where Chioda admitted that Hebner made an unfair pinfall. Triple H then has Hebner fired and reverses the decision, allowing Triple H to gain the title, or regain the title rather. This is a big moment. I didn't see it coming, and the idea that Chris Jericho was going to be the world champion and was announced as the world champion, this to me was great TV. I was all about it. I mean, I realized it's a quote unquote dusty finish, but the WWE hasn't done it in so long at this point that it felt new and it felt fresh. And I thought it really worked. What'd you think?
Yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot. You know, it was plausible. It was plausible. And that's a term that was not used often enough in pro wrestling, then, now, or forever. Plausibility, realism. And that had the plausibility of, well, I can see that happening. And then you kind of get lost in the story. So I liked it. I had no issues with it whatsoever. It added to the overall storytelling.
Let's talk about some news and notes heading into the show. Meltzer would write, there's expected to be an announcement regarding the television situation imminently. Based on what we believe to be the case on numerous reports, the much talked about CBS deal has likely been agreed to in principle by both sides. Officially, the company has to give USA Network the right to match the offer. We're under the impression that USA has already been given the offer to match, and at least as of a few days ago, had not officially given the WWF an answer on whether or not they were going to match it. But it's been believed for some time that USA would not be matching the offer. And of course, as we fast forward a week or so, we find out that the television landscape is going to be changing. The USA Network has filed suit against the WWF, Viacom, and CBS on April 13th. And the concept here is that they had a different interpretation in the language that allowed them the offer or the opportunity to match an outside offer. This is not going to necessarily end well. Ultimately, we know the company goes to Spike, but I got to admit, even when you and I talked about it before, I didn't remember USA sort of digging their heels in, trying to fight to keep the show. What was Vince thinking during all of this, or what were you hearing from Vince about all of this sort of back and forth with USA?
Let's get away from that goddamn dog show. It's about being repositioned. You know, Viacom, CBS, and all that's a big outfit. They've been around. They got deep roots. So I think that, and there was a significant increase in money. So that was the deal there, and there'd be no preemptions. It'd be locked in every Monday night at at that time 9:00 Eastern, 9 to 11, right? 9:00 Eastern.
Yeah.
So it was a good business decision. But, you know, the way that I understood it, it was all if USA wanted to keep them, they had to match the offer. They didn't match the offer. So to me, it was to the letter of the contract, which was also proven true in court because McDivitt did it again.
Well, let's mention this. Part of the thing that USA takes issue with is they're not asked to match things that already exist in regards to the For Wrestling show. They're saying specifically, you want us to do something with the XFL on Sundays, and you want a movie developmental fund. And, there's lots of other weird stuff in here, including, CBS is offering syndicated radio spots and specials and hosting theme park events. And they're even offering to buy some WWE stock. So it's not the standard sort of contract that USA had before. Do you think this was Vince sort of getting creative to try to figure out a way to move away from USA Network because of the dog show? Or was he just, I mean, like any businessman, trying to make as much money possible through all these other avenues as well?
Oh, I think that, Vince really wanted to move to Viacom.
Yeah.
I thought they were they had a great big hug with, cash line sleeves, ready to give the ultimate financial embrace to WWE. And Vince, I think, in his view, I think it made our company at that time feel more wanted, and with a partner that really was invested in what we were doing, and we're trying to continue to help build the brand. It seems to me like USA got a little bit stale, and today they're very promotional minded. USA seems like, and I say that because, as you know, I'm a big mark for Law and Order SVU, and that's on USA. And it's ad nauseum how many WWE spots they run. It's seemingly, and I know I'm exaggerating, but at least in every other break, there's a promo.
Right.
So they're getting promos out the keister, and so they've made a different change in the philosophy there. But I think Vince really had his heart set on leaving. I'm telling you, I was kidding about the goddamn dog show. Those bitches. Scottish Terrier my ass. Son of a bitch. I would own a Chihuahua. I might eat one. I just don't. I think he was ready to go. They made Viacom did the old recruiting thing. You're wanted here.
Right.
You'll be valued here. You know, and of course we all of us until this very day still have certain stigmas that we all have to handle in our own right about how our business is perceived. Oh yeah, that wrestling thing. Yeah, I watched it as a kid, but so what you're saying is you're too smart now as an adult to fucking watch wrestling, right, pal? Yeah. What do you do for a living? Oh, State Farm. How's that working for you? Make a lot of money? Excited about your career? I love my job. I love my career. And I had 2 ex-wives that didn't like my business either. That's why they're ex-wives. So you get off your stool there, step down, and understand it's an entertainment entity. It's a fictional television program. You got that? And also, I'll break this news to you. You know, all those great John Wayne movies where he rode those horses and cowboys shoot them up, never lost a fight, blah, blah, blah. That was fake. John Wayne was not a cowboy. He was born in Iowa. He grew up in Southern California. He's not a cowboy. Hate to bust your bubble. Come on. So I think that they skirted that. They hurdled those issues and made Vince believe and feel, which I think was all good, that we want you guys, and we're going to help you grow your brand in ways that previously has yet to be done. And Conrad, if somebody came to you with your very successful mortgage business, which I wholeheartedly, folks, you need to refinance. You want to capture there's some good things in this goddamn virus, man. You can refinance your home for an amazingly low interest rate.
Yep.
And Conrad can help you. But if somebody came to you, Conrad, and say, hey, Conrad, we got some new ideas we'd like to pitch to you to be our partner. And if you do, here's what we'll bring to the table for your business. New things, new marketing things, new exposure, et cetera, et cetera. You would have to listen to it.
Of course.
So I think that's all Vince did, and he liked what he heard. So, and then when the lawsuit went down, without talking about a lawsuit, but McDivitt came through again, and WWE was able to walk away from the USA, take the deal on the Viacom, which is Spike, and move on.
Listen, if there's one thing I talk a lot about, it's saving money. And one reason to repair and maintain your cars is to save money that you can use for more important things, like your mortgage or food. Why would you choose to spend 30, 50, even 100% more for the exact same auto parts at a chain store or a new car dealership? And there's tons of examples of how this works. I'll be honest, I didn't realize this until recently. The chain stores have different price tiers for professional mechanics versus guys like me and you, just do-it-yourselfers. But RockAuto.com's prices, well, they're the same for everybody, and oh yeah, reliably low. RockAuto.com always offers the lowest prices possible, rather than charging prices based on what the market will bear like an airline used to. RockAuto.com is for everybody. You don't need a membership. You don't even have to log in. Check it out. It's RockAuto.com. What you'll find is that they're a family business. They've been serving auto parts customers online for like 20 years. Go to RockAuto.com to shop for all of your auto and body parts from hundreds of manufacturers. They have everything from engine control modules and brake parts to tail lamps, motor oils, even new carpet. And whether it's your classic or a daily driver, you get everything you need in a few easy clicks delivered directly to your door. The RockAuto.com catalog is unique, but it's remarkably easy to navigate. Even my dad can do it, and he is, he's what we would call technology challenged, or maybe technologically challenged. Either way, he ain't good at quote unquote computer. He admits that, but he loves the rockauto.com catalog because it's so easy. You can quickly see all the parts available for your vehicle and choose the brands, the specs, and the prices that you prefer. But best of all, it's the same price for everybody. Professionals and do-it-yourselfers don't overpay. Go to rockauto.com right now. See all the parts available for your car or truck. And when you get to the How Did You Hear About Us box, please write in Grilling JR to let them know that we sent you. rockauto.com. Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need, all at rockauto.com. Let's talk about some news inside of wrestling, and this is going to be something we talk about a lot someday, I'm sure. Meltzer would write, to clear up rumors, Hunter Hearst Helmsley and China have indeed broken up. She confirmed this in a Dallas newspaper by saying she isn't seeing anyone. Part of the reason may have been that she wants to live in California because there's been interest in her for acting parts, and she felt the need to be located close by, and he just bought an expensive home in New Hampshire. Is Meltzer looking out for the company here, or is he just totally out of the loop, do you think?
I mean, regarding the breakup?
Well, why they broke up? I mean, they broke up because...
Oh, we know why they broke up, because Hunter started seeing Stephanie.
Yes.
And he got busted.
Yes.
How many, Conrad, as the former, I feel like one of those guys in one of the post-Trump news conferences, former secretary of, whatever.
Sure.
The former cabinet, whatever. As a former head of talent relations, I spent many hours with China. Not in an intimate way, I should suggest.
Yeah, we understand.
But just business.
Yeah.
And she would sit in my talent relations my office, which at the TV shoots, which is basically just a little locker room.
Right.
And she would, I don't want to say she hid there, but she isolated herself there, like this quarantine, this virus. But man, I had to talk to her. Her contract was coming up for renewal, and she wanted $1 million a year. And at that time, that was the maximum number that any talent in the company was making on a downside guarantee. That's $19,323 a week, if I recall. That's a pretty good weekly pay. And of course, you could make a lot more than that. Austin had $1 million guarantee, and he had 1 year he made $12 million. So you could go. The upside was there. She wanted $1 million guarantee because she felt like she was worth more, being a female, being more unique than Stone Cold and some of the other guys. There were only a handful of guys making $1 million a year.
Right.
And she wanted that money, and she was. I couldn't move her off her number. And to be honest with you, I was very leery of trying to retain her services under the present atmosphere. In other words, how is it going to be for her to come to work every week and see Hunter and Stephanie together?
Right.
Because Joni was very emotional and very sensitive, believe it or not, very sensitive. And I used to tell somebody before she passed away, I said, she would come to my office and she would get on these crying things, God bless her. And I was trying to think who it was. Fred Gwynn was on the Munsters, right? Fred Gwynn played the monster in the Munsters, the TV show, the sitcom, played the Herman Munster.
I believe you.
Yeah, yeah, you don't have a clue. She laughed like Herman Munster, or she cried like Herman Munster. God almighty. I mean, it's like, I look around, I'm the only person in the room other than her. I'm looking around at the ceiling. What the hell have I got? I'm not Dr. Phil. I don't know what to. So bottom line is, I tried to negotiate with her. She was selling her money. And she was just so upset, so distraught. Her breaking up with Hunter was a life-changing deal for her.
Yeah.
She truly loved the guy.
Right.
And and to Hunter's credit, if it hadn't been for him, then we would have never hired her.
Right.
Simply because she was unknown. She was a Northeast person and Hunter the gyms, and she had an amazing look and all that stuff. And she worked hard to improve her look with her jaw reconstruction and all that stuff. But she was really